we'll see what that line goes to. So let's talk about the awesome Lions. They lost to Minnesota Vikings 34-20 behind a big day from somebody named Dalvin Cook. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I don't think we ever have.
He had a 9.4 yards per carry average. He had 206 rushing yards on 22 rushes and an additional 46 yards through the air. Two catches. That's just unbelievable. Kirk Cousins took advantage of that with the Lions focusing more on Dalvin Cook, even though it doesn't look like they did. He went 13 of 20 for 220 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Stafford went 23 of 32 for 211 yards, a passing touchdown, 2 interceptions before leaving the game with a head injury. I mean, Amendola led the way with 77 receiving yards. I don't know where to go. I have no idea. You don't have obviously without Galladay, that hurts a ton, but that is far from the issue in this football game. You have one job. Stop Dalvin Cook or limit Dalvin Cook. You could have kept him at 120 yards, and it would feel good. It would have felt great.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go from here.
Well, I don't either.
I really don't. It was abysmal. It was so frustrating because every time you got something going, they just hand the ball to Dalvin Cook and they just bled the clock.
Oh.
They got more yards, got another touchdown. Yeah. It was just it was so frustrating.
And then in the passing game, it's like, what are you going to do? Are you gonna go man to man so you can put 2 guys on Dalvin Cook
right?
out of the backfield, and then get beat by the wide receivers, or are you going to play a zone where Dalvin Cook then dump it to him and go nuts?
Yeah. So whose job is that? Is that mainly the linebackers? Obviously, it's the front needs to be able to clog these holes better, but these linebackers need to be tackling. We don't have anybody that can make a tackle on.
I saw in a lot of those big plays, I saw a lot of missed tackles from the linemen.
Okay.
So he was bouncing off of the linemen, but the linebackers weren't there to fill the gaps. So this might have been Collins' worst game as a Lion. He got beat by Cook over and over and over, but he's not the athlete of a linebacker that is really comparable. And we were one-on-one with him a lot, with Collins chasing after him. I mean, the big passing play to Cook, Collins is just running after him, and it's like, okay, pretty soon it's 10 yards behind.
Yeah.
If you looked at that play, all of the other wide receivers perfectly covered. Like, that was his one last resort, and it took a little while for the play to develop, but he was the safety net. He went to the matchup that he knew that he had a victory.
Yeah.
And so Cook just ran past him.
Yeah, Jarrett, what did you think about the game? As a Vikings fan, obviously.
Yeah, no. So at the beginning, I'm on this Vikings hype train. I'm ready for the playoffs at this point. No, but for real,
they're better than their record.
They are much better
really
than their
are,
record.
and I
especially
honestly
once
do
Cook
think
came
that.
back.
Cook came back. We're hot again. But last week we talked about just stop Dalvin Cook, and it is easier than said than done because I do think our line, the way it's set up. I don't think we're a great pass blocking offensive line.
Yeah.
We're set up to run,
You're
and
athletic.
we are set up to just ground and pound, and it worked. Dalvin is an absolute animal, and I'm not just saying that he is. He's think
so good.
Maybe the best running back in the league. I don't
athletically.
Even know.
You watch him run, and you're like,
he's
whoa.
ridiculous. And,
yeah,
and
that's
it's passing
different.
game too. He had 2 catches for 60-something yards. He was our entire offense, and so. That was the key. I honestly do think so. Again, you're not getting to the quarterback very often. Lions I think ran the ball decent, nothing crazy, but
I will talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
So DeAndre Swift, 64 yards on 13 rushes, most rushes and yards. Adrian Peterson, 29 yards on 8 carries. Kerryon Johnson, 29 yards on 4 carries. So that's pretty much all you had on the ground, and it's not bad. It felt like a lot worse, but I think the worst stat there is why is DeAndre Swift only getting 13 carries when he's almost averaging 5 yards per carry? That's 4.9 yards per carry. I'm not saying he's Dalvin Cook. I'm not saying he's ever going to be Dalvin Cook. But what you have there is a guy
he's the closest
waiting to explode, waiting to get 20, 25 touches in a football game and really make his mark. I'm getting so frustrated with Michigan and Detroit of trying to just get the ball to multiple guys out of the backfield. No, I want DeAndre Swift in the game every freaking play. I don't care that he's a rookie. I don't care that you're trying to salvage and keep tread on the tires, blah, blah, blah.
Keep him healthy
use
for
him now.
more losses.
Use him.
Yeah.
I want to know if we do have a true number one running back. So we don't think about drafting another one in the second round like we did when we don't know if Kerryon Johnson's ever going to be a number one.
Yeah.
And look, I'm gonna go back to Adrian Peterson. I didn't like it. I liked it. I hate it now. I hate that he's getting these touches. If he was promised this, then that's a massive problem. Get rid of him. I'm sick of it, and it's nothing against him. It's just his aura, and they feel like they need to include him. That's what I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of that worry of, is Adrian Peterson going to be happy by only getting 5 touches or 3 touches? He has a place in this league. He has a place on this roster, but you're not using him in that place. You're so worried about his feelings that you're not trusting the guy that you drafted in the second round to be your number one. I want to know if this, like, Edwards-Helaire is getting so many touches with Kansas City. Why is that?
Because their offense is unbelievable.
Well, their offense is, their offense is unbelievable. But our offense, I don't want to say could be that, but at the same time,
Le'Veon Bell's getting a lot, right?
Do we know if DeAndre Swift, if he touches the ball 25 times, what is he going to do? There's no reason why he can't touch the ball 25 times.
I completely agree with that.
And I'm getting so frustrated by, 13 carries, 3 catches, 16 times. Why isn't he not touching the ball 25 times?
And this might be the most he's had this season. I think it is.
I think it is.
This game was got out of hand very quickly at halftime.
Yeah, and
we missed another field goal. What's going on there? What's going on with Prater right now? I don't know.
Really
we missed a field goal. Okay, we were down 3 points going into the half, and with 40 seconds left, without any timeouts, they drove right down the field. It was like the easiest drive I've ever watched in my entire life. It was like 4 plays. And was that Cook who just walked into the end zone there at the end?
I'm sure
or was
it was.
That Abdullah? I don't remember.
Abdullah.
Hey, how about Abdullah getting a little?
Good for him, man.
Stu
payback.
For the record, half of this anger is because of Stu, because his team beat mine in men's league. So it's half of his fault.
Done, Stu.
Not half of his fault. A quarter of his
but
fault.
look, we were down 13-10 going into half with 40 seconds left with no timeouts going into the half, and they just, I think it was 4 plays.
Yeah.
4 plays. They go in and score a touchdown, and then the very first drive coming out of halftime, they scored another touchdown. And guess what? Now you're down 27-10, and it felt like it was just too much.
Yep.
At that point, 27-10, you have to change everything, change your whole game plan. Whatever you had going in the first half, throw it out the window, because now you have to score a touchdown and score fast.
The crazy part is there were times that it was like, okay, if we can get in the end zone here, it's a one-possession game. And then Stafford throws a pick.
Yeah,
so I think Stafford deserves.
Did not have a good game.
No, he didn't. I mean, he looked really good. He just had a couple really bad throws, I thought.
What I'm sick of, though, I'm sick of this offense with the whole dink and dunk, like West Coast offense style. Like, when has that been Stafford's strength?
Yeah, it's not.
Is it like going back to what we were talking about Michigan and the strength of Milton and everything? That might be his strength, but Stafford, he's a gunslinger. Throw it down the field.
Yeah.
Let him show off his accuracy. Throw it a million miles an hour, 15 yards down the field, like he does every single time we get into a 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
We don't have to go the hurry up every time, but be creative. Let him be who he is. Design this offense around Stafford.
Yeah.
Not around a principle or like a strategy from the offensive coordinator. I'm sick of that. Every time we get a new offensive coordinator, they think we're going to we basically end up throwing it shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter.
Right.
But if that's the case, why? Your wide receivers, we talk about, it's not like you have speed guys. You have tall guys that can contest, catch. Like Stafford's throwing in tight windows, but you have wide receivers that's not their game. You ain't throwing little 5-yard passes. Give me 10, 15 yards down the field, and I will give you a ball that you can possibly catch.
Yeah.
That's their style. That is how they're good.
Yes.
I feel like
Galladay, Marvin Jones, they have length. You can
run a 15-yard route and turn around. Like,
yeah.
that's what they're good at, those contested catches. But then that also opens up those, Hawkinson and maybe even DeAndre Swift, if they ever start throwing the ball to him on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Throw those underneath routes, but you have to clear out before you do that.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of these out routes on 3rd and 2 where we don't get a first down. We get a completion. Stafford did everything he needed to do, but we run a yard and a half.
It's almost like we want 3rd and 1.
Amendola, how many times with Amendola this year have we seen 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, little out route, get tackled, and 4th and 1? What are we going to do? We will always be conservative and punt that.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of seeing that.
Yeah, I'm really sick of the way this is. And it's not just the coaching, and it's not just, it's just the frustration as a Lions fan. It's just it's it all. It's everything. It really is everything. If they win, I don't know.
I think
I don't
this
know.
shows how average number one that the Lions really are. Like I don't know, their offensive line super average. Okay, it also shows how little depth we have. We lose Tracy Walker in as a safety, and now we have no matchup for Dalvin Cook. Really, we were one player away from not having any matchup at all. No
Your corners.
answers.
You talk about your corners. You lose Trufant or something. Guess what? They're gonna pick on you so bad.
Exactly.
With whoever's out.
Look,
Like,
our corners actually played a pretty
I thought
good
they
game.
played pretty well.
They
yeah.
did. They did a good job. And
That was Warrior's worst game this year, I would say.
he also didn't start.
I didn't know that.
So he was coming in, and they actually started Coleman, Trufant, and Okuda. And Okuda actually played pretty well. He gave up probably two big plays.
Yeah.
But Warrior also got beat, but he was coming in here and there. So I don't know, maybe a little different strategy.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So, I mean, basically where we're at heading into this game is a must-win, obviously, unless you're in one of those just tank modes. I'm personally not there. What, you got more?
I just want to say today was good news for us people that are 3-5 right now because did you see Goodell came
Did
out?
they announce it? I missed
Well,
it.
if there's enough COVID games, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Correct.
8
So, like, if
teams.
one game gets canceled,
If
Is that
I don't
what it
know, I don't know how many exactly it is, but if there will be 8 teams in the playoff in both sides, if there's enough COVID games where they have to shorten the season. to
Correct.
16 games.
Yep.
Us 3-5s are only 1 game back, baby, from 8 spots.
Wait,
So
can
we
you
are
explain that to me like I'm 5?
Okay, so all right, so there's 16 games in a season.
explain it to
Okay,
them
got
like
it.
So say like
they're
say like the Vikings Lions got canceled, and we couldn't make it up.
Yep.
And then say next week the Vikings still have COVID. They're breathing COVID like Puff the COVID
All right,
Dragon.
let me catch up. Oh, got it. Yep.
And then
COVID Dragon.
and
Dragon
then we
is
lost
5.
another game. But say the NFL is like because COVID's kept picking up now at this point. There's 4 games that are in limbo this week for the NFL. Like
yeah.
so they're saying
'Cause
if there's
they're
enough
human beings.
suspended games, they're going to say no, we're not doing a 16-game season. We're doing 14-game season, but within like a 16-game stretch almost.
I'll
And
name
so
the
they're
games
gonna
I'd
say
like to see the
they're going to
Lions
say
game
we're
get
not going to
canceled.
screw over some of these teams that were maybe going to make the playoffs, but like since it's a shortened season, we're just going to throw them in the playoffs because they could be good.
All right.
I think
So it gives us a better shot.
Yeah, definitely.
We
let's
could get in.
cancel the Buccaneers
saying there's a
game,
chance.
the Titans game,
Yeah, give
and
me
the
the
other
good
Packers
games.
game.
Yeah.
Are those are later in the year though, right?
Yeah, let's cancel those 3
I
now.
think that's
and then we
after flu
can-
season, so we should be
Oh,
okay.
man.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well,
Uh,
Stu
anyway.
says blow the whole thing up, man. Blow the whole thing up.
Okay, I'm mostly game with that, but it's not coaching. See, that's when people start going to the coaches with the Lions, I will argue all day because this is not a coaching problem. It never has been. How many coaches have we gone through? This is higher than that.
Yeah, I
When-
agree.
All right. This is my one question because I really don't know. And I know, like, all right, I know Patricia's a defensive mind. When have you had an offensive minded coach?
Caldwell wasn't he?
Caldwell was supposed to be offense.
Your last successful coach.
You know what? If you
Yep.
look at
Give
our,
me an
Also our last
offensive minded coach because I think Stafford does have the talent. I think you have talent at wide receiver.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said.
I do. I
You know
don't
what?
think he's a
2000
top 5.
2016, Stafford had 8 comeback victories in 2016, right? Their last playoff
Was that
appearance.
Caldwell?
Sounds right.
That was
yeah.
with Caldwell, yes. If you compare those team stats to these current team stats, they're almost identical. They're exactly the same. What that means to me is that this is such an average NFL team that is not very good. We're not deep. You lose one player, it's a big deal. And it's really no different. That year we came back and those were miracle victories. Over and over and over. We're not getting those same victories now. So that's the difference of a 9-7 team versus a 6-10 team to
Yeah.
me.
I think you need an offensive minded coach.
I
really
don't.
do.
I disagree. I think if you have a good offensive coordinator in there and a good quarterback, they can figure that out. I don't think Patricia is the problem at all. I really don't. I think it's personnel. I don't think we're deep enough. I think we've made some really bad draft picks. We've trusted in players that we flat out shouldn't have, and that's cost them. It's cost them deeply. And you have a mix of just it's a lot of misfits.
To be
in
clear,
in a lot
to
of
be
ways.
clear, I don't think that the coaching is not the problem. Like I honestly think our offensive coordinator right now, Bevel, there's no creativity, and I'm sick of seeing that. We just went through that. We need to get DeAndre Swift more involved, change the route scheme, all that stuff. We don't throw our wide receivers open at all. They don't get open on their own either. So,
But do you think an offensive-minded coach would see that?
They could,
I
yeah,
don't think
for sure.
Patricia sees that, and
That's where I disagree. I think Patricia, just because he did work in the offensive side of the ball before he was a defensive coordinator in the Patriots. He came up.
Line?
He came up as an offensive
line.
mind. I don't know. I don't think it was offensive line. It was. I don't remember what it was, but it might have been. You might be right. But he started on the offensive side of the ball,
like it.
and that's what people don't understand.
Right? I mean,
and that's what people don't understand is he's a football coach. I'm sorry, like he's not coming in to be only a defense. I hate the offensive mind, defensive mind head coaches. They're head coaches. What is Belichick? Is he offensive mind or defensive mind coach? What did he come in as?
I mean, he's a defensive guy.
It's not working out.
But they had one of the best offenses ever.
Well, a couple of the years they didn't. They had a great defense.
Okay,
I think you have one of the best offense coordinators in the game.
Okay.
Bevel?
McDaniels.
Daniels.
Oh, you're talking. Yeah, McDaniel.
Yeah,
Whatever.
McDaniel,
Doesn't
right?
matter.
Yeah.
He's
Josh
been a head,
McDaniels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's been a head coach prospect every single year, and he never does it. But
He did.
yes,
the
I
Broncos?
agree that you need
Yeah.
good. You need good
Tebow.
offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. But at the same time, I think the Lions do need to switch it up. You can't sit here and tell me the only time they went to the playoffs within the past 15 years is the one time you had an offensive
No, they went. They
the
went.
Vikings. I will say.
No, they
I'll
went
sit
to
here and
they
say
went
I
to the
love
playoffs.
Zim.
They went to the playoffs with the defense mind coach too. What was his name?
Wayne
Schwartz.
Fonts.
No,
Jim Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz.
Yeah,
Twice, right? They
and
went there
Schwartz,
twice
He
with
was
him.
not great. Schwartz was not great.
He was one of the biggest names for the Philly a couple years
Schwartz
ago.
as a defensive coordinator, look how well he's tearing it up. He was not the offensive coach. He was not the coach that everybody expected. He's a great coordinator.
People were talking about him as being like one of the biggest names to be a head coach again here
they
soon.
were, but I think we're in a different day and age. I
Yeah.
honestly think
Let's
we're in
move
a
on.
different. All right, sorry, I rant.
You got any keys to the game?
Yeah, let's talk about some keys to the game real quick.
Against Washington.
I think you got to
team.
protect Stafford.
You got the
Washington football
this week.
team.
The
football
team.
team.
You got to
team.
protect Stafford. I think
Gosh,
so. Their
terrible.
offense is
Embarrassing.
bad.
Can you get a more embarrassing game right now than the Lions against a team in
Lions
Washington?
against the football
team. Their offense is bad. 30th total yards, 26th in passing yards, 29th in rushing yards, and 30th in points. But then their defense is solid. 6th, 1st, 23rd, 11th. That's total passing, rushing points. Just protect Stafford because that's what you have to do. You have to protect Stafford. That's first and foremost the biggest thing because he's going to be able to throw the ball. I trust that. Hopefully we get Galladay back. Who knows? Who cares? I just don't even know what to think about that situation anymore. But for their offense, so Kyle Allen broke his leg, I think, ankle. Last
he's
week.
done. He's done. It was
For the
not
season.
pretty.
So
Yeah,
this
it
is
was
just
not pretty.
doesn't this game just smell like Dwayne Haskins is going to going to get the start and tear this freaking
it
Lions team
Alex
apart?
Smith. Alex Smith's back.
Yeah,
baby.
Alex Smith.
Yeah, I don't think Alex Smith is going to get the start.
I
You
do.
don't-
I
you
would
don't-
Either
think
that, they're going to
so.
pull the plug quick, and then
They
Dwayne
like
Haskins
Alex.
going to. Dude, he threw like 3 interceptions last week, didn't he?
He threw for like 300. He was like 250 to 300 yards.
Someone
He
pull
might
up.
have thrown some picks, but
Yeah, I heard he looked
I
bad.
don't pay attention.
I
to
didn't
the
watch
Washington-
it, but
I don't pay attention to the football team very often.
No.
Over there, so.
What about Austin Bryant though? Shout out to him, right? Long recovery. He just got a defensive end for the Lions.
Oh, yeah.
4th round pick last year out of Clemson.
is he going to play?
He played
I
last
heard he
week.
got active.
He played last
Oh,
week
he did
against
play.
the Vikings. He blocked a punt, the first one.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, Austin
I
Bryant.
didn't know that.
Yeah. I think
didn't
we
put
need
that
to
together.
keep
That
getting
is
him more involved. I
pacing.
actually think he could be pretty good in the defensive end category, and he's long. He's almost like a Julian Aquara.
Yeah, I think the key on the offensive side of the ball is
didn't
obviously
hear
you
that.
protect Stafford. No, I just
You just didn't care yet.
We're trying to wrap it up here. We're at 55 minutes, and we still got a
I'm just
full
giving
fun
shout outs
segment
over here.
But I think the key is going to be Hawkinson. I think as long as our wide receivers are a threat enough for Hawkinson to be the true tight end that he can be, Washington struggles against tight ends. It's pretty obvious. So if the wide receivers can do their job to open up the tight end to be the actual tight end and not be your number one threat that they're going to double team, he's going to have a good game. That's going to be a key. Obviously, the running game as well, I think, is important. And I already preached it, but I want to see Swift get true number one, not even number one, only one carries. And I would like to see Kerryon Johnson be ahead of Adrian Peterson as well, because I think two young guys be the two-headed monster. Don't try to bring in a third guy.
How dare you?
Adrian Pearson got
Out
cut
of
by
defense.
this team in Washington that plays football.
Yeah.
He got cut
He
by
just
them.
played the Vikings, and then he's playing the Redskins.
He's
next
playing
to
his
teams
two of his
that-
former teams.
I didn't even
Which
think
he
about
he went
that.
into the Vikings game saying, "Hey, I'm gonna have a big game. This is my former team. I'm gonna." Yeah, he didn't, and he said it again this week. I'm like, dude, just shut your mouth. I don't want you to have a big game. Just shut up.
What? What do you
I'm
mean
done
you
with
don't
him.
want him to have a big game?
I'm done with him.
You give him
Sam
3
doesn't
carries.
like him.
I do like him,
Apparently not.
but I hate the way that he's used.
No, you hate him,
I did hate him for a long, long time.
dude.
But, Ryan, do you have any thoughts heading in this game, or is it just win?
Yeah, if they don't win, then the coaching staff's out of here. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the fan base alone will probably put the pressure on.
Yeah.
And I'm done defending them if they're losing these easy games, especially with all the players that they do have active.
And then we can start talking tank.